this is Darcy with Working Girl Yarns. I wanted to introduce y'all to this hat that I made with a mix of the Addi Express king size, some crochet, braiding, and a pom-pom maker. So you do 90 rows on the Addi Express. You cinch up both sides and sew them together. So I've already got the hat right here. And then I'll show you how I do the ear flaps in just a second. I'll show you how I do the braiding, and then also adding the pom-pom. I just did this, it's one skein instead of the stripe. Just to make things easier, you're gonna need a 5mm crochet hook, leftover yarn from the project, and then decide on the pom-pom color, I guess. I used a pom-pom maker too, but you can use your hand, some cardboard, however you want to make the pom-pom. So now we will start on the ear flaps. I like to fold the hat in half so I can match up the ear flaps. I would recommend using stitch markers just because it does make it a little easier. I would say 4. So we're gonna do it about halfway, and I wanna do 8 stitches, and you can see the rows up of the stitches. So let's see, we're gonna start here, and we can adjust it as we go, like after we set it all up if it's not perfect. Okay, so here's 1, and I do 8, so go over 8. Mark it. Do the same on the other side. Make sure it matches up. If I can figure out, okay. Let's see. Okay, yep. So here's where the ear flaps are gonna be. We're gonna do 2 half double crochets into each 8 stitches. So you take your yarn, you're gonna make a slip knot. We're gonna go, and I would say you wanna see 2 bars right here. So you make a slip knot, slip stitch. I chain 2, that counts as the first stitch. Half double crochet. Then you go into the next one. Remember to have 2 bars right there. And 2 half double crochet across to the other stitch marker. And you will put a half double crochet into where that stitch marker is. I like to double count to make sure. And then here's our last one. So that's what it looks like right now. Once it stretches and settles, might look a little better. So what I do for the next couple rows, chain 1, actually chain 2, I'm sorry, chain 2, turn, and you're gonna half double crochet decrease in the first and the last stitch. Sorry, I'm struggling. Okay, so chain 2, and we're gonna half double crochet decrease. And then you're gonna go across, to the last 2 stitches. Right here. And then you're going to do another half double crochet decrease. And then you're going to chain 2 and do it again. Half double crochet decrease. So there's what 3 rows will look like, and that includes your starter one. We're going to chain 2 again. So we're decreasing for our 3rd row. Decreasing the last stitch. So this is what it looks like at 4. Wait. Yes, 4. I'm going to do it one more time, and then we're going to finish this ear flap off and do the other side. So chain 2. Decrease. Crochet across, decrease. And that's what that looks like now. We're going to finish it off, do a slip stitch. You don't have to cut a super long tail. We're going to crochet it when we do a backward single crochet across the brim whenever we're done with both ear flaps. So I'm going to crochet the other ear flap, and I'll come back. Now that you're finished with both, I like to line them up to make sure it's all Men's Warehouse. You're going to like the way you look. So that's kind of what it's looking like right now. Whenever we do this kind of border situation here, the ear flaps look a lot more even. So I didn't finish off on the second one, but if you did, it's okay. You can just slip knot back on there. What I do for this border is just single crochet backwards. So I chained 1. We're gonna go backwards into this stitch and single crochet. Into the next stitch, backwards, single crochet. And you go across the half double crochets, which is pretty easy. And then down the side, just whatever is comfortable. I wouldn't do too many because it'll add where you don't really, it'll look funky and it'll curl. See? Just one single crochet, and the last one I kind of do two, and then single crochet backwards into that half double crochet stitch you did initially. Now we're down to the knit part. We do the same thing where you have 2 bars, you go into the stitch, single crochet backwards, go to the next one. Oop. It's trying to slip. Single crochet backwards. Hopefully you can see okay. And usually you want to match up the bars. Whoosh. So you're doing it on the same knit row. And I just one single crochet into each one, not 2. So it's not crazy like wobbly and frilly. Unless you want it frilly, that's okay. We're just here for funsies. Okay, so then you do that all the way around, all the way to where you started, and you finish it off. Okay, so now we've done the backward single crochet border, sewn the ends in. This is what we're working with so far. And now I'm gonna show you how to do the braid. So now we're gonna go to the braids. I already cut this out just to see how many I needed. To measure the braids, I like to grab it with my thumb like that, wrap it around my elbow, come back around, and keep doing that until you get to, I'd say 50. Ooh, excuse me. And then I cut right here, and then you get the strands that you need. So we have our strands. Doesn't have to be super exact, but I usually split it in half. Put the other one to the side. You're gonna fold this in half to get the loop. I'm using an 8mm crochet hook. It'll focus. And then from the outside of the ear flap, stick the hook in. I would go for around the middle. Go into the loop. Pull through. Make sure to keep the center. So I put my finger in there. And then you pull the strands through. From there, sometimes it gets like random loose strings, so I tighten as much as I can before braiding. And I just do a simple, separate it into 3, like so, and then fold one over the other. And I try to do it as neatly as possible too. We're gonna grab a strand right at the end here on the last braid. I do a simple knot, really tight. Double knot it, and then wrap tightly around the end there. Have like a good amount left. We're gonna put this on a tapestry needle. I would use a pointed one, not a blunt one, just because it'll go through a lot easier. So we got that tight. I sew through the side of it on top. Oop, it dropped. It's okay. Go through the bottom. Go through the center if you can. Okay, and then I like to wrap it again. And then do a tie off where I go through the top and the bottom. Do it again. And then we're gonna leave that loop there, go through it, and tighten it. Do it again. And that's how you finish that off. And then you go to the other side, do the same thing. Make sure to match up the braids so they're the same length. And when you're done with both is when I usually like to trim this part, so it'll look a lot better. I just attached the pom-pom. I'm not gonna show you how to make a pom-pom, I'm sorry, unless you want me to with my pom-pom makers, but ta-da, that's what they look like. This one is a little bigger size, but this is the finished product. I'm very happy with it. Honestly, I love the braids and I think people are a big fan of them. Thank you for watching. Come in if you ever have any projects you want help working on. Hopefully we'll be putting out more patterns in the future. Goodbye.